For 150 years, a 4,400-year-old tablet sat in a museum drawer. It had been excavated from Nippur, cataloged, and never read. When a scholar finally decoded its sealed surface, the text preserved something unprecedented: a Sumerian myth describing a god imprisoned beneath the earth and what must happen before he returns. The real question is who kept this tablet silent, and why? Spring, 1889. In Trench, TB 211, at Nippur, workmen under the University of Pennsylvania's watch unearthed a layer of broken tablets, thousands of clay fragments, each pressed with the wedge marks of early cuneiform. Dig journals from that season, now yellowed and brittle, record the relentless pace. Tablets tagged, sacked, and counted by the hundreds. By summer's end, over 20,000 pieces had been boxed and shipped from the Mesopotamian plain to Philadelphia. The journey from pit to shelf was anything but orderly. Shipping manifests from May 1892, list crates, stacked in Baghdad's heat, each marked with codes like TB 211 and IV2, meant to tie every object to its exact find spot. But paperwork multiplied faster than the tablets could be sorted. Museum clerks logged arrivals in ledgers, sometimes duplicating numbers, sometimes omitting them. NI 12501, for example, appears as both 2NT 665 and 5521 123, a confusion that would linger for decades. Inside the museum, the backlog swelled. Royal inscriptions earned display cases. The rest, tens of thousands of fragments, many with only a few lines, were sealed in wooden cabinets, catalog cards filed under unprocessed. Conservation notes from 1938 mention a brief cleaning and a single photograph, but no translation, no drawing. For NA 12501, this marked the start of a long silence, lost in the undertow of its own paperwork. In December 1955, a single memo crossed Samuel Noah Kramer's desk. The order was brief. It said, "Withhold unpublished tablets from the upcoming monograph's photographic plates." The rationale, tucked between lines about design and narrative scope, cited the absence of a catalog number as grounds for exclusion. Behind this curatorial shorthand, a decision took hold. NI 12501 would not be named, not indexed, not even footnoted in the main text. Internal board minutes from the Penn Museum, spanning from 1954 to 1957, reveal a quiet debate over priorities. Kramer, then the senior Assyriologist, favored grand royal inscriptions and complete myths, not fragmentary tales with missing endings. His authority was rarely challenged. When the time came to finalize the book, the image of NI 12501 was selected for the dust jacket, stripped of any identifying number. The photograph, originally filed in 1938 under a generic Nippur tablet label, offered no trail for future catalogers to follow. The omission froze the tablet's status. Catalogers searching by accession number found only silence. Scholars, unable to cross-reference the image, assumed it belonged to a minor, unpublished corpus. Even Kramer's 1961 bibliography offered only a vague nod to unpublished Nippur tablets, a gesture that protected the tablet's anonymity for another generation. One choice, made in the margins of museum paperwork, left NI 12501 invisible, its story locked behind a bureaucratic blind spot, waiting for technology and curiosity to catch up. A century and a half after NI 12501 vanished into the museum's backlog, a new kind of scrutiny replaced the dust and dim light of storage with the sharp clarity of science. Dr. Jana Matuzak, trained in both Sumerian philology and digital imaging, turned to multispectral analysis, a method that reveals what the naked eye cannot. 12 distinct wavelengths, ranging from 365 to 940 nanometers, passed over the tablet's surface. Under some bands, the wedge-shaped impressions of cuneiform signs reappeared, their edges outlined by mineral traces invisible in ordinary light. A scientific CMOS sensor, paired with a macro lens, captured each pass at a resolution fine enough to distinguish a single grain of fired silt. Calibration targets, spectralon panels, and pure white standards ensured that every image could be trusted, every pixel measured against a known value. The process did not stop with flat images. A motorized stage shifted the tablet by fractions of a millimeter, stacking 30 focal planes for each wavelength. The resulting data fed into a three-dimensional reconstruction algorithm, assembling a digital model that could be rotated, sliced, and magnified without risk to the fragile original. Edge detection routines highlighted the faintest strokes, and manual verification followed, sign by sign. The outcome? 85% of the original writing surface, once thought irretrievable, now mapped and readable. No guesswork, no leaps of faith, just the patient application of hardware, software, and expertise. The clay surrendered its secrets, not to speculation, but to a methodical investigation, line by ancient line. A clay tablet must do more than whisper its story. It must prove its age in the language of science. For Ni, 12,501, that reckoning came not from legend or guesswork, but from the slow clockwork of thermoluminescence. In 2023, a sample from the tablet's core was tested in the Penn Museum's conservation lab. When fired in the dark, the ancient silt released a faint, measurable glow, a record of the last time it felt the heat of a kiln. The result was 4,380 years, give or take a century. This places the tablet squarely in the early dynastic 3B period, around 2400 BC, when Sumerian city-states wrestled for power under the shadow of Enlil's temple at Nippur. But numbers alone do not secure a place in history. Publication does. The full translation and analysis appeared in the journal Iraq, Volume 84, a venue known for its rigorous peer review. Dr. Jana Matuzek's article delivered more than a reading. It offered high-resolution images, a line-by-line transliteration, and a digital model open for scrutiny by any scholar. This was not an announcement in a press release or a viral thread, but a formal presentation to the academic world, where evidence is weighed and challenged in public. Dr. Matuzak described her reaction to the results as a mixture of relief and awe. For her, confirming the tablet's age through thermoluminescence was more than a technicality. It meant that every sign, every stroke belonged to a real moment in the deep past. The clay's ancient glow, measured in a laboratory, became the anchor for a story that had waited millennia to be told. A voice from 4,000 years ago survives, pressed into clay by a steady hand. The myth begins with Enlil, Lord of the Skies, summoning the divine assembly. The storm god Ishkur has been seized, dragged down into the Kur, the Sumerian underworld, and bound in iron chains. Without him, the fields wither, the rivers shrink, and the gods themselves grow anxious. In the council's silence, a fox steps forward, not a warrior or a king, but a creature known for cunning. The fox proposes a banquet, a feast of dates and barley, set not for celebration, but for distraction. As the Anunnaki gather around the table, their vigilance dulls, the fox slips a sharp reed beneath Ishkur's chains. In a moment of thunder, the storm god rises, rain breaks over the land, and the gods look on in astonishment. Then the story falters. The clay fractures mid-sentence. The fate of the fox, the terms of Enlil's decree, the closing ritual, all are lost to the break. What survives is a fragment, a rescue unfinished, a divine drama cut short by time. The silence at the end of the tablet is not an answer, but an invitation to wonder what ending the ancient scribe intended. The word Anunnaki, pressed into the clay of Ni 12501, once meant the council of high gods, offspring of An, the sky, and Ki, the earth. In Sumerian, it carried the weight of legal authority, not cosmic intrigue. Yet, in the modern world, the term has become a cipher for speculation. Zecharia Sitchin's books, published from 1976 onward, transform the Anunnaki into travelers from a hidden planet called Nibiru, rewriting the Council's role as extraterrestrial engineers. Sitchin's interpretation, though widely circulated, stands apart from the evidence. In the cuneiform lexicons, Kur is the underworld, not a celestial portal. The fox is a trickster, not a machine. Peer-reviewed translations, including Dr. Matuzak's edition, anchor the story in the rituals and anxieties of ancient Sumer, not an interstellar prophecy. Still, the fascination persists. Online, the myth is retold as a warning, a promise, a countdown. Meanwhile, more than 20,000 tablets, each potentially holding its own unfinished story, remain unread in museum drawers and vaults. What other voices wait in the silence, their meanings poised between scholarship and myth, fact and longing? A sealed fragment from Nippur surfaces after 150 years. Its myth is both ancient and incomplete. Scholars like Dr. Matuzak illuminate forgotten gods, while speculation clouds the evidence. Are we searching for lost truths or inventing new myths? The line between discovery and desire remains as thin as clay. Share your thoughts below.